So something that's been happening to me a lot more over these past few years, whether it's just based off other stuff or what else, is overthinking. Now this is something I would say that doesn't help due to my, I guess, like social inawareness, I guess, or like social awareness levels being pretty low due to my autism. I will take a lot of situations and a lot of scenarios that I'm in with my friends or family, and I will tend to just overthink them. And this isn't healthy, by the way. By the way, overthinking is not a healthy thing, and it's definitely one of my biggest issues within myself as a person. I overthink a lot of scenarios, and while overthinking can definitely do you a world of good and can help you out in certain scenarios, every scenario that I've overthought has been terrible and has not helped me out at all. It has prepared me for the worst, because some of them have been the worst case scenario, but it does not help me out at all. Now you're probably wondering, how do I do this overthinking? This overthinking tends to occur for me towards the late-ish evenings of the day. So normally past 9 PM is when I'll get a lot of overthinking feelings, which is why I always constantly try and aim to go to sleep relatively early, because if I go to sleep early, I can prevent overthinking from occurring. Now this is something I probably should go talk to a therapist about, because it's obviously a bit of an issue and it can ruin future relationships with friends, family, or even potential partners, and all partners if I have partners, which I certainly would like to, you know? But yeah, like overthinking is definitely a big issue, and overthinking for me, it comes in a lot of different forms, but the main form for me is I will think of a certain situation, whether it's a situation in the past or a situation that's going to occur within the next few days or in the future, or a situation that I would like to happen, and just constantly think, you know what's going to be the worst about it? And then the worst comes through, and I'm just constantly thinking about something else, and then something else adds on top of it, something else adds on top of it, and it's just horrible. It really is just horrible. And it just, yeah. One example is I was thinking about something, and then it piled on. So I was thinking about something, and I was looking at something, and then I found something else from something. I'm being very brief on this, by the way, because I don't really want to go into detail about this. Far from it, to be honest with you. And then I saw this and I saw that, and then I just that caused just overthinking levels to go really high, to the point where it caused me to have a mental breakdown. A lot of my mental breakdowns, half of the time, is due to me overthinking, because sometimes I will just overthink about this or that. I will end up really increasing my emotions to the point where I'm either going to get really fucking angry from it, or I'm going to get really fucking sad. And I prefer to do neither, by the way. I hate being angry, I hate being sad. They both are just horrible emotions to have, especially anger. Anger for me is really bad to have, and I'm gonna divert a little bit from overthinking just to talk about anger. For me, when it comes to me being angry, I will often, especially if somebody has caused me to be angry, I will actually say something back to hurt them. Not in a way to actually hurt them, but in a way to just shut them up. Because it could be somebody just bagging onto me, and just a way for me to shut them up is by doing something nasty or saying something nasty just to shut them up. One time, I actually got into a fight because of this. One time, this guy was coming up to me. We used to be friends, but me and him used to be friends, but we're not really friends anymore. We're kind of like mutuals now. Like, we don't mind each other. We're kind of chill. We're not like friends though. But he came up to me. It was like year 10, I think it was. It was either year 10 or 11. I can't remember. It might have been like towards the start of year 11. Probably was. But he came up to me and he kept saying jokes and stuff. And I wasn't in the mood. I was pissed off due to a previous lesson. So I wasn't in the mood to entertain him. And after a while, I just told him to go away. He wouldn't go away. So he had something on him, something important to him. So I ripped that off him. I ripped that thing off him, just out of spite, and just out of him, just to get the fuck away from me. His response to that was to just push me, and then we pushed each other. We threw a couple punches, if I remember. It wasn't many though. And then the fight got broke up, and then the reality kind of settled in, and I was like, oh shit, what the fuck have I done? And obviously that's when we both kind of got in trouble. But because we were both autistic, we were able to kind of get away with that. But yeah, but because of the fact that I was angry, I did something which I wasn't proud of. It was something that I was just not proud of at all. And if I had the chance, I would completely change it. I would have never gotten angry. I would have played into his jokes, laughed at his jokes, and just left it be. But of course, it's life. You live to learn. You live to learn mistakes, and it's why I don't like to get angry often. And if you're a friend of mine, especially one of my like college friends, or like one of my IRL friends, like in real life friends, you will know that I don't really tend to get angry often. And when I get angry, that's normally when like shit is like bad. There was a time where I'm just gonna bring this up as the final time, and then we'll go back to overthinking. There was a time where a friend of mine just was like down and depressed. He just wasn't in the mood to do any work, and he kept going on about how he just didn't want to do any work, and he was too busy to talk about other stuff. So I literally got up. I got a bit annoyed. I will say I did get a bit annoyed, and I just said to him, "Look, I'm not gonna actually give his like actual name. I'll go, but let's go with Dennis. Okay, Dennis. You say you want to do the work, right? You know what you could do the work on? You could do the work on your PC." I literally basically forced him to go do his work on his PC. And he didn't really like it, but he said to me afterwards that he actually appreciated me kind of speaking to him like that. And that's the thing. I'll give people generally the benefit of the doubt, because I don't want to constantly be angry and annoyed at people. But after a while, if they don't do something that would just be easily done, I will just fucking tell them straight, like, hey, just get it fucking done. It just annoys me. Anyway, back to overthinking. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, overthinking occurs to me quite a lot throughout the night, and it'll be based on a lot of things. A lot of it for myself is I tend to overthink that I'm not good enough, and because I'm not good enough, I'm not going to be successful, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to end up being homeless. In fact, most of the time that's wrong. That's just me. But in fact, I even kind of talked about that in a piece of uni work that I did. I actually did a magazine based off overthinking, and it was kind of a magazine. It was more of it was a magazine, and it's generally one of my favorite pieces of work I've ever done, because it's just allowed me to go crazy, because we used elements of Dadaism. If you don't know what Dadaism is, I basically like to just describe it as shit goes crazy. But anyway, so my whole thing was about overthinking, and I tend to overthink a lot about myself, a lot about how my friendships are with others, how, like, you know, how I connect to others. There's a video that I want to do at some point. I'm not going to do it now. There's a video that is basically one of the things that constantly comes up with me with overthinking. And it's the idea that I'm nobody's favorite person. I want to do a separate video on this, by the way, which I'm planning to do. I don't know if I'll do it soonish. I might do it in like a month or so. But it's something that's been fucking with me a lot ever since it kind of came into a discussion with my college friend group, or with my like friend group, my IRL friend group. And that's definitely been a debate of overthinking. There's been a few other things I've overthought about as well. Some stuff I'd rather keep just to myself. Like I'm open about a lot of things, but there's like a few things that I'm gonna keep to myself. But yeah, it's definitely something I want to improve on, and I want to get better at, because I just hate it. I hate overthinking. It fucking sucks. But yeah, hopefully I didn't overthink on this video, and I'm kind of I'm gonna apologize a little that I kind of went into like a two-way, so it went into overthinking and then anger. But I feel like that gave a little bit of a context as to basically explain how it is. Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in Muppets later. Peace.